Hello, I'm Taylor Stewart, and you're watching Tiger TV News. We're standing outside the Kilgore Student Center, where AUC Shut It Down has organized a rally in support of women who stand against violence. This comes just days after multiple instances of violence have occurred here on this campus.
We're very much here so that we can really discuss the culture that exists here in the AUC and in the world. We acknowledge that everyone does not come today with the same set of knowledge, right? We realize that everyone is at a different place. And we are here to offer and facilitate a space that is conducive for obtaining new knowledge.
There is a climate of casual and explicit violence against women in the AUC. If you agree with this statement, raise your hand. The responsibility of changing the campus of violence is on each of us individually. If you agree with this statement, raise your hand.
These next questions I'm about to ask you guys will raise your hand, but this is only for the men in the groups, okay? All right, my first one. If you have heard a rape joke and you didn't say anything, raise your hand. If you've ever told a rape joke, raise your hand.
Thanks for being honest.
If you know someone who was sexually assaulted or is a survivor, raise your hand. If you sexually assaulted someone, raise your hand.
Yeah, transparency.
If you've tried to talk to a drunk girl at a party, raise your hand. If you've got a girl drunk at a party, raise your hand. If you've ever questioned the integrity of a sexual assault survivor, raise your hand.
Thanks for being honest.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest.
If you've let victimization go unchecked, raise your hand. And if you've raised your hand at all, raise your hand. Look around. It's a lot of people. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name's Eva. So the reason we just did that activity was to explain to you all why rape culture isn't an individual problem. It's an individual problem, and it's a problem of our whole community. We sat here and watched people raise their hands for instances and not raise their hands for instances that we know have happened on our community and on our campuses. We know to solve this issue, we have to be honest with each other about what we've done and what we haven't done in the past. We have to be honest with each other about what we've done and what we haven't done in the past. So maybe you weren't honest today, or maybe you wish you were more honest today, but it is never too late to do the right thing. Again, it's never too late to do the right thing. So maybe you didn't raise your hand tonight, but the next time you hear a rape joke on campus, that's your chance to raise your hand to be honest. The next time you see a drunk girl or a drunk person at a party, that's your chance to raise your hand and be honest. We all have an individual responsibility, but even more so a community responsibility to do better on our campuses. We are a family. In these gates, on these campuses, we are a family. Because out there, they don't give a shit about none of y'all. And I'm serious about that. You have to be honest and accountable to take care of each other.
It's so easy for men not to acknowledge the issue, right? Not to acknowledge misogyny. It's easy, right? Because we have this privilege that we could avoid looking at things. We can avoid looking and acknowledging misogyny, but we can no longer do that, right? So the first thing you have to do is acknowledge it and acknowledge how you play a role and play a part in it. Secondly, we need to call it out. When we see it, we need to say something, right? It's not enough to see something and not say anything, because you never know what that mindset, what that person will do next, okay? So as soon as you hear it, as soon as you see it, you need to speak on it.
Check your homie.
Check your homie, check your boy, check somebody that you don't even know. Because at the end of the day, that's what we talk about. We say this all the time, right? I got my brother's back. Do you really?
That's right.
Right? What does that, and then, and it's real, like, and what does that mean then? Right? Because if you got your brother's back, you wouldn't let him do something to harm a woman. You wouldn't let him do something to harm a man. You wouldn't, right? Because you got his back, right? And matter of fact, you should have their back. whoever he might be in a relationship with, whatever he might be doing. That's what it means to be a family, and that's what it means to be a community. We all have a responsibility to do something. We all have a responsibility to say something. It's on each and every one of you, right? So now it's like, what are you going to do, right? You have ideas. I gave you some ideas. We talked about ideas. Everybody has. But now it's on you. What are you going to do to fix this issue? It's an individual thing at its basis. Though we need to fix it as a community, if you're not doing anything to fix the problem, guess what? You're a part of the problem.
I nourish myself.
I nourish myself.
I do my best.
I do my best.
I say thank you.
I say thank you.
And I release the rest.
And I release the rest.
And now as quiet as you can, because this is a self-care mantra, right? So this is for you. I nourish myself.
I nourish myself.
I do my best.
I do my best.
I say thank you.
I say thank you.
And I release the rest.
And I release the rest.
Ashe?
Ashe.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose